Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to your favorite channel. In this episode, I am going to review some of the 10 Elsevier journals which is reported to have higher acceptance rate compared to other Elsevier journals. The journals listed in this video are extracted from Elsevier journal finding tools. So let's jump onto the video. Before moving on to the video, let me remind you to please do hit the subscribe button and share the video as much as possible. So let us move on to the video. The first journal in the list is Fusion Engineering and Design. It is reported to have acceptance rate of 73%. It is an international journal for fusion energy and technology devoted to experiments, theory, methods, and design. It has an impact factor of 1.4, and this journal accepts articles related to de- magnetic field fusion, nuclear technologies, materials including blanket and shields, analysis of reactor plasmas, etc. You can see the aims and scope onto by logging onto this journal page. You can see the most downloaded articles, recent articles, and let us move on to the indexing pattern of this journal. Let us see whether this journal is indexed by Scopus and other reputed indexing databases. Here you can find Scopus Web of Science, Citation Index Expanded, which is a really good platform to have for your upcoming research data. Before submitting your research article, please do read the author's guidelines. So moving on to the next journal in the list, Forensic Chemistry. It is reported to have acceptance rate of 53%, and it is yet to get its first impact factor. You can see with the title it is related to forensic science and its chemistry. So you can see the aims and scope of this journal. You can find different aims and scope and themes. You can also find most downloaded articles, recent articles, etc. Let us see the indexing pattern of this journal, whether this journal is indexed in Scopus and other reputed databases. So here you can see it is indexed in Scopus and Emerging Source Citation Index, which is really good. If you are working on forensic science and its chemistry, then you can target this journal. Before targeting, please do read author's guidelines for more convenience. So next journal in the list is Methodex. So it is yet to get its first impact factor. It is customized journal for your short communication, and it welcomes submission from all research areas, which is really good for you. And if you feel that if you are having any research which is like a short or a brief communication, then you can log on to this journal, check the author's guidelines, and try to submit your research short communication. It is yet to get its first impact factor. Let us see the indexing pattern of this journal. So this journal is best suited for uh, tailor-made for short communication research article. It is indexed in Scopus, PubMed Central, and Emerging Sources Citation Index. So before submitting, please do read guide for authors and start submitting. Moving on to the next journal in the list, it is said to be having an acceptance rate of 38%. The name of the journal is Journal of Chromatography A. It is having an impact factor of 3.8, which is really good enough. You can see the aims and scope of this journal, which is related to fundamental and applied separation science, and you can find electro migration techniques, hyphenated and multi-dimensional techniques, sample separation, detection methods such as mass spectroscopy, etc. If you are working on related area, then you can check this journal and try to target your upcoming research article. Let us see the indexing pattern of this journal. So if you see the indexing pattern, this journal is indexed by various reputed databases and it is also indexed by PubMed, Scopus, etc. So before targeting, please do read author's guidelines for more information. So moving on to the next journal in the list is Forensic Science International. It is said to have acceptance rate of 33% and it has an impact factor of 1.9, and as the title indicates, it is related to forensic science. You can see the aims and scope such as forensic pathology, histochemistry, biochemistry, toxicology, etc. You can read the aims and scope of this journal. They publish case reports, commentaries, letter to editors, original research paper, rapid communication, review articles, technical notes, and so on. So you can see the themes, and let us see the indexing pattern of this journal. So this journal is mainly devoted to forensic science. It is indexed by PubMed, Scopus, yes, Scopus and databases. So moving on to the next journal in the list is Trends in Analytical Chemistry, which is said to have an impact factor of 8.4, which is really good, and it is having an acceptance rate of 71%. And you can see the complete aims and scope of this journal, which is mainly related to analytical chemistry and analytical techniques. You can read the complete aims and scope. So you have a note here: this journal will not accept any submission that have not had either an approved proposal or invitation to submit from an editor, which means you need to have a prior invitation from the editors. So if you want to target this journal, then you need to come up with your brief abstract, submit to an editor, uh, seek for like invitation, and once you get the invitation, you can easily submit your upcoming research article. So further, you can see, let us see the indexing pattern of this journal, whether this journal is indexed by Scopus and other reputed databases. Yes, you can see this journal is indexed by Scopus, Expanded, and other reputed database. It has an impact factor of 8.4, which is really good. So moving on to the next journal in the list is Data in Brief. It is said to have acceptance rate of 39%, and here you can see it provides a way for researchers to easily share and reuse each other's data sets by publishing data articles that are related to following aims and scope. You can read here and see whether your data is capable of targeting to this journal. Let us see the abstracting or indexing pattern of this journal. It is yet to get its first impact factor, and it is indexed by Scopus, PubMed Central, emerging sources citation index, which is really good for your research. Moving on to the next journal in the list, a marine pollution bulletin. It is reported to have acceptance rate of 45 and has an impact factor of 3.7, and you can see the complete aims and scope of this journal and check whether this journal falls into the area work related to your research. So moving on to the indexing pattern of this journal, let us see whether this journal is indexed by PubMed or Scopus and other reputed databases. So here you can see it is indexed by Sci and Scopus. Here you can see Science Citation Index and Scopus. So moving on to the next journal, before targeting the journals, please do read author's guidelines carefully. So moving on to the next journal in the list, Dendrochronologia. It is reported to have the acceptance rate of 48%, and here you can see the aims and scope of this journal, and it is reported to have impact factor of 2.2, which is really good enough. And if you are working on the related research, then you can check whether you are capable of submitting your upcoming research article to this journal. Let us see the indexing and abstracting pattern of this journal. It is reported to be indexed by Scopus, CABI, and other reputed databases, which is really good. So moving on to the last but not the least journal, Groundwater for Sustainable Development, which is reported to have the acceptance rate of 46%, and it is yet to get its first impact factor. And as per the title, it is related to sustainable development for groundwater. You can see the complete aims and scope of this journal, and it is yet to get its first impact factor. And here you can find the complete aims and scope: groundwater quality, food safety, groundwater contamination protection, water education, water policies, etc. Let us see the indexing pattern of this journal, whether this journal is indexed by Scopus or not. Yes, it is indexed by Scopus database. So with this, let me conclude my video and remind you to please do hit the subscribe button, and if you like the video, please do comment, please do share this video as much as possible so that it can reach the masses. So I wish you very good luck in your research endeavors. Thank you. Have a nice life ahead. Bye bye.